Rainalon here. Today is another build showcase. This time is Wisp, so let us immediately start. Starting with the shards I'm using 3 Tower Forge Crimson Archon shards, all of them giving me 15% more ability strength. And I'm using 2 Emerald Archon shards, both of them giving me increased maximum stacks to corrosion. So instead of me stacking to 10, I can stack to 14, and 14 stacks on a armored enemy. I can fully armor strip them, and it's very powerful and it's very good. Those are the shards I'm using. Let's start with the mods. The mods I'm using on Wisp are Growing Power for more personal ability strength, Prime Shit-Footed for knockback immunity, Blind Range, Transient Fortitude, Umbral Intensify, and Argon Secrets for ability strength, Prime Continuity for ability duration, Archon Stretch for ability range, Adaptation for survivability, and Fused Reservoir, which is the augment for her first ability, allowing you to place down all three of them in the same time instead of one by one. So these are the mods. Let's start with the arcanes. I'm using Arcane Molt Augmented, which on kill you get ability strength, which is very good on her. And I'm using Arcane Blessing. You don't need to use Arcane Blessing. I'm using it because I like it. You can use whatever you like. Those are the arcanes. This is the mods, and these are the stats. So I have positive duration, negative efficiency, solid range, more than enough, and a lot of ability strength. So she loves ability strength, so you can just feed her ability strength as much as possible, which I did. So let's start with the abilities. The passive, when you're in the air, you're invisible. You pretty much abuse this as much as possible. It's one of the strongest passives in the game. Her first ability is called Reservoirs. What it allows you to do is you can place down 3 types of reservoirs. One is Vitality, one is Haste, and one is Shock. Sadly, D decided to delete the other 2 from the game, but they're still there, they're not in the tooltip. So I will explain to you differently. I cannot show you the stats, sadly. So the first one is the Vitality mod. What it does increases you and your allies' maximum health and gives you health regeneration. The second mod is called the Haste mod. What it does, it gives you and your allies attack speed, fire rate, and movement speed. And her third mod is called the Shock mod. What it does, gives you and your allies a minor crowd control. So when enemies are near you, you release shock on them, stunning them a couple of seconds, doing barely any damage to them. Her second ability is called Will of Wisp. What it does, it releases a clone of yourself in front of you. You go invisible. Every other enemy starts shooting a clone. The clone is invincible. And if you press the ability again, you teleport towards the clone. So yeah, this is pretty much it. It's a pretty solid ability. Use it sometimes. I mostly use it to go through lasers when I do spy missions or when I'm reviving an ally. Her third ability, Breathe Surge, it's a very powerful and a very interesting ability. Has multiple purposes to be used. For example, what it does is it releases a AoE around you, blinding every enemy, and those enemies that are blinded, when you shoot them, they release a projectile. That projectile will home it to another enemy, doing a lot of damage. That's one of the uses, which is the main source to be used. The second usage is if you use this ability on your first ability, when you're looking at your first ability with your crosshair, you teleport to your first ability, to your mods. And if you use Will of Wisp and you press your third ability, your Will of Wisp will also use Breathe Surge. And yeah, it gives you even more coverage, more CC, and more damage. Her third ability, I removed it. It's not good. I replaced with Nourish. Nourish has a lot of synergy with her abilities and also buffs you and your allies. Nourish, what it does, it gives you and your allies viral damage, a lot of it, as you can see down there, 275%. And also boost the energy multiplier on energy pickups or any type of energy source by 4.67 times to you and your allies. This Nourish synergizes really well with Archon Stretch and her Shock Reservoir. So her Shock Reservoir does electricity. Archon Stretch says here abilities that do electricity damage, gives you energy regeneration. Nourish multiplies the energy regeneration from her Archon Stretch. So yeah, there is a purpose now to use the shock mod now. So shock mods, the community hate them. I think it's a pretty solid ability, especially now with this and Nourish. So yeah, these are the mods, these are the arcanes, that's the stats, and those are the abilities I'm using. So let me show you in game. It's pretty freaking simple. So a bunch of enemies. What you do, you hold your first ability, you place down all 3 mods. Some of them get stunned, some of them don't. Doesn't matter. You get a lot of health. On the top right, you can see a lot of health. You can see here Arcane Stretch is immediately activating, so you're constantly getting energy generation. If I press Nourish, you can see bottom right, my energy starts like increasing over time. Very slowly, but if I press Nourish, the energy is much quicker now, as you can see. And I also give myself viral damage. I press my third ability, I stun them, and if I shoot them, they just die in seconds. So Wisp is also pretty solid at clearing, because a lot of attack speed from her first ability, and also Nourish gives you viral, and her third ability also gives you massive damage boost. When you do damage to them, they will create these like homing projectiles. They will seek out enemies, doing a lot of damage to them. So it gives you like CC, coverage, survivability, sustain, buffing, utility. She has pretty much everything you want. You also, when you jump, you're invisible, so you're always pretty much going to be in the air. So yeah, this is pretty much the build I've been using for a very long time. The only thing that changed is me using the Arcane Stretch and removing Energize and replacing it with Blessing, for example. You can use whatever mod you can use whatever arcane you want. Like I said, I'm using Blessing. You can pretty much figure out on your own what you want to use. There are a lot of good and useful arcanes. So that's pretty much it. That's the build. I've been using this build for a very long time. She's good in every game mode. She's very useful. She's good at story missions. She's good at Steel Pass. She's good at normal Star Chart. Everybody loves Wisp. She's the second most played Warframe in the whole game. Sooner or later, I won't be surprised if she's the most played. She's not busted. She's just very good for the game, and she's very well designed for the game. So I hope this build helped. I hope you subscribe for more. I'm going to be making daily Warframe build videos. Maybe soon I'm gonna do some gun videos as well, and melee. And I hope you also follow me on Twitch. I do stream nearly every day. Maybe not Warframe, but I don't mind answering some questions about builds and ideas when I play something else on my stream. So yeah, I hope if you have some questions, comment down below, give a like, and that's pretty much it. Thank you everybody for watching, and see ya.